In my village, the mornings start with the crow of the rooster and the scent of wood smoke curling from the kitchens. Life moves slow, guided by the rise and fall of the sun. As a child, I found beauty in its simplicity, watching the elders gather beneath the baobab tree, their voices blending with the chirping of birds. We lived close to the earth, our hands stained with the soil of our fathers, our hearts shaped by customs older than memory. My name is Amina, born to a poor farming family where dreams were considered dangerous and a girl's path was drawn long before she learned to walk it. I always hoped that maybe somehow I would be different. I imagined one day meeting a boy by the riverside, exchanging shy smiles and speaking of futures we would claim as our own. But in our village, love stories like that belonged in old songs and fireside tales. Our daughter was a seed planted in another man's home, a trade sealed with dowries and promises. When my father told me I was to be married, the words felt heavier than the thick evening air before the rains. He said it with the authority of a man who believed he was doing right by his blood. My protest died before they reached my lips. To speak against a father's decision was to defy the gods themselves. The man chosen for me was Baba Kofi, a name spoken with quiet reverence and hushed rumors. He was far older than me, a man whose face had seen too many seasons. Some said he was blessed with riches, others claimed he lived like a hermit by choice. None of it mattered to me. What pierced my heart was that this marriage had nothing to do with me. It was about alliances, debts, and my family's hunger. The night before my wedding, my mother sat beside me, combing my hair in silence. When she finally spoke, her voice trembled as she told me that sometimes a woman must endure what she cannot escape. The marriage rites were performed under the wide African sky, the drums echoing across the hills. I wore bright cloth, my wrists heavy with beads, my lips drawn into a smile I didn't feel. Baba Kofi said little, his eyes carrying the weight of years and secrets. The village women danced and sang, offering blessings, but none of their words reached my heart. I felt like a vessel, filled with other people's wishes, my own buried beneath layers of tradition. His home was far from the village center, a place where the winds spoke to the trees and the nights pressed close. For a man believed to hold riches, his house was plain, the walls aged, the yard scattered with chickens and goats. The days blurred into one another. Baba Kofi was neither cruel nor kind. He spoke little, ate alone, and spent long hours tending to a garden no one else was allowed to touch. Loneliness became a second skin, wrapping around me tighter with each passing day. Then there was Malik, a young man with a quiet spirit and eyes that seemed to see through the spaces I left empty. He worked for Baba Kofi, tending the land and caring for the animals. At first, our words were brief, necessity dictating conversation. But soon I found comfort in his presence, a balm to the ache I carried. He spoke of the world beyond our hills, of cities where the lights outshone the stars and a person's worth wasn't measured by the weight of their dowry. In Malik's company, my chest felt a little less tight, the air around me a little less heavy. One day, while cleaning the house, I noticed a room hidden behind an old curtain. Its door was locked and curiosity gnawed at me. Days later, while gathering firewood, I found a rusted key beneath a pile of stones near the garden. My heart pounded as I turned the lock. Inside, the room was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Chests overflowing with gold coins, rolls of foreign money, and glittering jewels lay scattered like forgotten memories. Documents lined the shelves. Land deeds, business papers, proof of wealth my village couldn't imagine. Confusion washed over me. Why would a man who owned so much choose to live as a poor farmer? The question clung to me, and when I finally confronted Baba Kofi, his reaction wasn't anger but weariness. He told me his story, how years of betrayal by those he loved had driven him to hide from the world. Greedy relatives, false friends, all had used him. He chose solitude over betrayal, simplicity over greed. And then, the cruelest truth. He hadn't married me for companionship. He was dying. The illness creeping through his body left him little time, and he sought a loyal wife to bear his heir, to inherit and guard his legacy. The betrayal stung deeper than any insult. I was not a wife, but a placeholder, a vessel for his fears and unfinished plans. In that moment, the walls of his home felt like a prison, the air thick with broken promises. I left him sitting alone in his garden, the weight of his secrets pressing down on both of us. In the days that followed, my bond with Malik grew, not out of rebellion but survival.